Rachel.
I'm Jennifer, the only redhead.
Listen, you're just not old
You're
yet.
the remaining redhead.
Wait.
So cool.
That's true.
They all dyed their hair.
We did not.
No one touched their
That's
hair.
straight.
I just got old.
Okay, she has the keratin.
Are we okay?
Yeah, we're good.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Mine's natural.
Okay.
Yours is red. It's slow to Jennifer. Benita.
Okay. Today we're here to celebrate our wonderful grandmother's 90 years.
We'll try to keep this light and upbeat and not get emotional. So no tears, everyone.
As granddaughters, you rarely think about your Yiayia as a young girl. She too was a child who played and danced and spun around. She went to school, fought with sisters, and had long locks of pretty curls.
So we thought we'd start with some background for those who may not know. There was a whole world of Yiayia before any of you were around. It's time to take this journey down memory lane. We shall go.
It was 1927, April 7th to be exact. Yiayia was born to Ernie and Calliope, but let us tell you an interesting fact.
Lila was not the little girl's given birth name. They called their third daughter, can you pronounce it?
Yes.
No, she didn't say it.
She said it.
Yes.
She said yes, but it sounds like
Yeah.
Yeah.
For this little name switch, Sister Tina is to blame.
On her first day of kindergarten, when she first got to school, young Elias was asked to state her name, to which Tina told a lie to prevent her sister from looking uncool.
So Lila she became.
We don't want to take up all of your time, so let's fast forward 20 years or so, to which begins our next run.
We thought we were the only ones to believe in destiny, karma, and fate, but then we found out a fortune teller predicted Yiayia and Pop-Up's first date.
She said there was a number that was key to Lila's whole life, it would seem. The number she said was the number 3. How right this prediction was, no one could have ever dreamed.
The teller also mentioned there was a man, one Yiayia had yet to meet. His name would begin with a J, she said, and he was going to sweep her off her feet.
Wouldn't you know it, 3 days later, on a walk home from school at night, James Powers spotted Miss Lila. Could this fortune teller be right?
I'd say so, Rach. Their kids and grandkids are all here today.
Yeah, I know that, Jennifer, but don't ruin the ending. There's still more to say.
Well, as I'm sure you can all guess, Yiayia told him he could walk her to her house.
I think her exact words were, "It's a free country, you can do as you please." I don't think she expected him to become her spouse.
But that's exactly what happened. The two got married 3 years later, to be exact.
There's that number 3 again, it just keeps coming back.
Well, yeah, you see, Yiayia was 3 months older than him, and they got hitched when she was 23.
And from there, the two lived at addresses with that same number. It was obviously fate, you see.
Let's move on to Yiayia's most cherished role in life, since now we've got the first few decades covered.
That was, of course, being to Kathy, Jimmy, John, and Chris, their loving, caring, dear mother. First came the daughter of the bunch, Kathleen, their precious little one.
Though I have this little hunch their creating wasn't done.
Yes. What would come next? 3 rowdy, handsome boys.
No more peaceful, quiet house of 3. Bring on the mess and noise.
As kids, many of the Powers youth recall their mother's cooking specialty. They loved her English muffin pizzas. They were a Lila favorite delicacy.
Johnny's bandmates would eat them by the handfuls before they'd play. Chris also recalls the famous muffins for which he'd make all for him once the older siblings had moved away. Hey, that's one of our memories. I wrote it down on a little notepad.
Yeah, but this is one of the only ones I could get out of her sons. You know the Powers' memory is bad.
Fact.
We heard Yiayia used to constantly rearrange the furniture. Back at 13A Van Wagen Avenue, their first address as a family, Pop-Up never knew where to put his coat or shoes. When he'd come home, he'd start questioning his own sanity.
Now here's a funny story for you. Yiayia fancied herself a renovator of sorts. She one day took a hammer to a wall she wanted down. No safety measures or precautions, of course.
So she hammered and hammered for a bit until eldest son Jimmy came to her side. Here, you finish what you started, she told him. Or started. Boy, I wish I could have seen his face when that happened.
Forgot the rhyming part.
I'd die.
For her children, there was one thing Yiayia really wanted. All her lives as grandkids, we have heard this anecdote a lot. I wanted to move out of that city, she'd tell us. And once Yiayia has something in her head, she's not going to stop.
So finally, after years of waiting, her dream at last came true. They got their house down by the shore. No more wishing, hoping, and feeling blue.
Since then, she's done a traveling act. Back and forth to Georgia, she's gone. Always going where she can be with her family. Her love for us all is forever strong.
Oh, we're not done. Now that we've saved the best for last, can we move on to her favorite of all?
You mean favorites, Jen? She uses that word when each of her grandkids call.
Yeah. As the grandkids of Lila Powers, our childhood was spent playing Rummy Cube. We played for hours as long as she didn't see me cheat. Yeah, like I don't cheat.
Okay, sorry, that was Danny apparently. It rhymes with the next part. We'd also watch the Shirley Temple classics. Without Little Princess and Heidi, our marathons were never complete.
We did indeed get those English muffin pizzas as well, though my favorite memory was pancakes in the early morn. She'd make them with me by the dozens. They taste so good because they're made with love, she'd sworn.
She loves to call us all her little angels, and as you all know, she's Yiayia to the six of us. She's taught us a lot of Greek words over the years as well, though the meanings of some we can't discuss.
Rachel and I have a particular memory that we can vividly recall.
Oh yeah, the one time Yiayia called a cab to take us 1 mile down the street to the Trumbull Mall.
The walk was too much for my little legs, and Yiayia wasn't really one to drive.
But guess how much a one-way cab in Trumbull, Connecticut is?
$10?
Try 35.
I always liked that Yiayia sided with me when Rachel and I would get into a fight.
Yeah, well that's because she'd say, little sisters need to stick together. So she said you were always right.
Well, at least you're finally answering the question she's been asking us for all these years. When are you getting married? I'd like to see a wedding already. You hear?
Yiayia has always wished to have traveled more. She tells me this frequently, but I answer back to her that wherever my travels lead, she'll always be there with me.
For we know that we are who we are, and just the fact that we're all here now alive is because of a woman named
Elias.
Yes.
There we go. Who had a dream for a big family by her side.
So here we are, two of the Powers kids, so happy and grateful to be with you here today.
90 years of love and wisdom. Let's all cheers to many more.
Hooray.
So why did it get like
Right
that?
this way?
Big smiles. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Fantastic.